everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the Mirror, and I have made some changes for what I feel like I need to be playing for the current meta. So we're going to go ahead and run this. The main changes quickly, if you watched the last one, is I am up on Betrayals because it's just so strong in best of one. Typically a sideboard card that you would be playing if you're playing best of three. I would never recommend 3 of these in best of 3 in your main board because that's a little overkill when you can just go to your sideboard and grab them, of course. And then we went up a Tidebinder and then down a Beast Binder. Kind of hard to say those back to back. And we went down a Tragic Trajectory, and best of one, you are kind of required to play at instant speed so often that having a lot of these just felt a little clunky, and Stab just doesn't reach high enough when Screaming Nemesis is a prominent creature that we have to be trying to remove. Other than that, we're going to be running it. We have quite a bit of games. We have one game where we spent the vast majority of it at 1 life, so that was pretty exciting. So you can kind of figure out if we win that game or not. But the main goal of this deck anyway is to play a lot of low to the ground stuff, interact with our opponent when it's absolutely necessary to stop them from doing what they want to do, and then use Enduring Curiosity or Kaido to take over the game, and Preacher can sometimes do that as well. But with that said, we're going to head and dive into the games. I will say there is a very long outro. It's like 8 minutes where I kind of talk about what cards are a necessity and what cards are not, but you can get that. And I do want to bring this up because I always forget until after I said we're going to get into the games. But I have been thinking, so I've been working on a Discord server, and the other thing I want to do is I kind of want to start running arena events where we kind of can play, and then maybe we can do some prizing for whoever wins. I have access to some stuff working at a card shop that we can maybe get uncut sheets or something like that, or maybe even like big oversized cards potentially, just to see if that's something we want to try to do, win, or at some point maybe it's like a cash tournament where you throw in $5 and then maybe walk away on one random Saturday with $200 and you got to play arena all day. So with that, if anybody has any idea or any insight that thinks like, hey, I would be interested in playing, even if they're just freeload tournaments and you just run it and maybe we give away something, who knows? But with all that said, I'll catch you in the outro. Pretty cool hand here. I'm not really going to shock this Watery Grave in until I necessarily have to, which is most likely at any point going to have to. It's just, if I don't, play this. This is really good at shutting their creature off, especially ones with landfall. We can even, if they save a mana by using their Landware Elves, because the way Arena taps mana, it uses those first, but just can't block here anyway. We'll take the trade. Really? Should we just shoot the Sheriff this? No, I want to play Preacher, I think. The reason we do that is because it takes the mana ability away, so they don't have 5 here. Then they have to figure out the game from there. Sure. Out fine for us, kind of. Again, Landware Elves can't do anything. You can play a second one, though. That can do something. No, land is so brutal here. So brutal. We'll see how they go about this. It's like a double block on the Preacher, which I think it's going to be. So I could just have this do all the damage and then Kaido in here and stun this. Or I can just use this on it. Or I can just shoot the Sheriff it, but I feel like saving my shoot the Sheriff is too good. this.
Your
1 and
tech
1,
is
of course.
great. Don't worry, Pom Pom Chan. I've got this.
Here. Keep their mana limited.
Down. Rethink your life.
6 mana. Sure. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a lot of stuff going on. When a creature you control. Alright. Deal, I guess. I don't know. Go here. I'll just shoot Sheriff it, I guess. Seems like a weird deck, to be honest with you. Oh, next, sorry. I was like, what's happening? They're veiled too. Take a land.
Secrets didn't stay hidden for long.
Go here. Sure, have the third copy of that, dude. I don't know. Have the third land where I'll see while you're at it. No attack there? That's got to be wrong, right? We can do something pretty dope here. Go to combat. Right here. That just seems weird, but let's be honest. We're not getting through this any other way. Have to find removal. Sure. Fail to draw.
My eyes are as sharp as my sword.
Guess that does work, I guess. I guess that does work, I guess. Killer language for me. Counters elsewhere. Yes. This will die next turn by itself. Okay. I can pay the ward, so I'm not that worried. Where are you putting these counters on the trampler? Deal. Should have waited to see where it went, but that's fine. I would assume. Well, no, I don't want to wait to see where it went because it goes out to Kaido. I lose it. Oh, putting counters there doesn't seem like the best play, my guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. This just goes away next turn. Arena, that's not me, dog. What it? Hello. Reach jump here. You have to target, or did you say up to 1? I mean, let's be honest. We're tucking this thing away, regardless of what happens. If they put a counter on their land where elves, I don't have to do it. It doesn't matter if I attack with this anyway. Go on. Tuck away. I'm at 0, I guess. Rail 2 draw.
I've got you beat.
We're learning. We're evolving, if you would. Having a Death Toucher standing here is pretty nice. I am afraid of like a random Ugin. That card's pretty good. Gonna answer my Kaido for sure. Damage can't be prevented either. Alright, so if I get a chance to basically do this, I should block this and just let that go. I can shoot the sheriff this.
Okay, now let's run away.
Right. Flash card of land. Could be anything if you think about it. If I go... I can take trample away. Then maybe even block. But I think I just shoot the sheriff it anyway. Here. We'll take a land if we can hit it,
Let's
of
get
course.
our all pumped. The housewarming party has arrived.
Awesome. That card is dead in the water.
Your weakness.
Turn. Could have done it on their upkeep, but I don't know. Sure. Sure. Uh-huh. Didn't put a counter on the might, by the way. Do this before we block, just so we know we want that to happen. Sure. Deal. And honestly, this, I don't really care about. They can hit Kaido down to 1.
You're fast.
Kaido's alive, on board. We're fine. Okay, 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 okay. Combat. Loyalty does not get taken away based on the damage on the creature. I could have swung here, but I think just playing this out like this is better. Rail 2. All card. We can just bitter triumph and then answer this whole board, right? I can go away. So what we can do... This is shut off, so it has no ability on it. Just go here, I guess. See what they want to do. All right, deal. It looked really bad, and we somehow took the game away. I just thought it was going to be Ugin. I was like, man, they're getting every mana source, and it wasn't until they played like this guy that I was like, because they went Sirach in this on the same turn, I think, that I was like, oh. Maybe they're just mono green aggro. They just found every ramp piece, which is actually kind of tough. I don't know. It was a weird one. It was... I don't know. At first here, I kind of like want to play my land untapped here, but the problem is I can only still play like one of these. So I feel like playing as tapped is honestly better. And then maybe double playing here and hope we just hit lands along the way, obviously. We'll see. This being a 2/3 Death Toucher does tend to brick wall some creatures sometimes. In my mind. Against this, I'm in there, bro. I might still play this tap, though. It kind of depends what my opponent's on, because this does shut off artifacts too, right? One target artifact, creature, or planeswalker in opponent controls. Okay. Sure. So it is artifacts, right? Prevent all non-combat damage to be dealt to you. Oh, yeah. That I don't really care. Attack. Trying to think here. Blue life for this one. Obviously, we could have played this, but I don't think it matters. Direct damage against them. This card doesn't really matter to us too much. I do like this card though. Without Monstrous Rage and stuff like this card probably should be seeing a little bit more play than it does. 2 mana 0/4 just like burn to your face, does nothing. Like this shuts off Screaming Nemesis shenanigans. You can even block a Screaming Nemesis with it, and then they have to like shoot your barricade. So it's kind of cool. They're in the tank though, so maybe they missed the land. No, all right. All right, 3 mana. That's vigilance, so it doesn't really matter too much. They're probably going to hit my Sissel with a... What's the card? Spring-loaded trap. Let's go Spyglass here. Activate here. Honestly, best draw. Best case scenario. Split Up is a card that they could play, so I think not attacking doesn't make any sense, right? And now it's a 2/2, and you're hittable. So we do have to obviously be careful of that. They just take the damage, alright. You're demo fielding me? Alright. Honestly, at this point, because we already hit the land, I'll take the deck then. We'll grab a swamp here because we have blue here and we're going to have blue here. So. Maybe they're about to wipe the board so they feel like okay. They just need to get rid of my reef. Obviously, we can just block here. That's part about like the Beast Binder. Blocking super easy. These fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe they are control. Just don't know it yet. Oh, we don't know it yet. We just clearly don't know. I don't know. Here. This is the weird thing where if they let this damage happen, we flash in a Curiosity so we get 2 card draws. And we try to outvalue this game. If they do something where they like triple block, they do nothing. Yeah, I will take a draw for 2. And this will flip over. Hey, you can go away. In Jutsu, you can go away. And again, if they have board wipe here, worst case scenario, wipes their entire board too, right? And then we get to keep the Curiosity. We have a 4/4 that's doing pretty well at making our creatures indestructible. Their bees is only a 2/2, so their swing in isn't even that good. So they can't really get value off like an all-out attack here that then becomes a board wipe. They could technically attack out and then split up, but the barricade has defender. So it can't. That's the only part about Cecil that kind of sucks, is when he transforms, he flips back to like an untapped state, which is nice obviously in aggro matchups. It's just against a card like split up, it's obviously much worse. So my creatures get indestructible here. So yeah, I don't even think I have to shock this in. I think we're just good. I would like to keep double counterspell for next turn. What if we go to combat and I just give all my creatures indestructible? Okay. Huh? So this screams like they have a board wipe for sure. Which means we're most likely going to have to shock this land in. Or at least I'm most likely going to want to shock this land in so I can play around it. Take one card draw. Shock this in. Also, me being at like 12 doesn't matter, right? That's fine. With double counterspell for any board wipe that they find next turn, or if they tap out to do board wipe, they have Judgment me. Destroy all tapped creatures. They play Spell Pierce, they got me, dude. I have lethal on board. We fight for this. Sure. No Spell Pierce. Out of my way. Here for this. Now 100% gets us there. We'll take it. We will take it against a control matchup with Barricade, which unfortunately for them didn't really do much against me. But I do like the Barricade. I think the Barricade's a cool card, especially right now, because again, I think his card was very hyped for a while, and then Monstrous Rage embarrassed it. So who knows? Good old fashioned go first. Sure. And as much as I hated Cut Down, this card is bad. Cut Down was just really, really, really good, though. It a lot of times just felt like if Fatal Push was legal. Because obviously the thing with Fatal Push that's tough is to trigger its Revolt thing, or Revolt cost. But this card has just felt butt cheeks for the most part. Alright, so we need our counter spell for the good cards. Kind of want to just remove that thing. But I guess I just wait and maybe counter spell something better or flash this in. Like the sack outlet feels good enough to counter spell. But also I can go Flood Drowner into Preacher maybe. They're just playing this. That's fine with me. That card's just not worth countering, I don't think. Tidebinder would make us pretty happy. Strategic Betrayal. Alright, we get to change like our entire game plan. Because we found one copy of a card. Vigilance here, we just hit them. I could have Kaido'd, but I feel like playing this Preacher and Stonewalling is pretty nice. Because like it removes this, it removes this, I guess, if we want to double block there. Voice of Victories, can't cast anything on their turn, sure. And 100% tragic, and then we can strategic betrayal. Voice is obviously good. Huh. They could have tragic in their hand, so I don't actually want to block here. It's all about getting our value. We have a higher life total, so this is just going to be a card draw. Do it. Yep. They have like nothing in their graveyard, by the way. Doubt they block ever here. I could Kaito here now, maybe. No. I don't think it's worth. I think we just go like shoot the sheriff here. And then maybe this here. Now we kind of isolate this board down a bit. If they want to raise the pass, bring those back. Sure. that is fine with me. During. Fair enough. Block here. You can do this to draw a card, which is perfectly fine. If they don't, obviously we betrayal. You. That exiles that enduring, and then we just call it a day. Combat 2. Stab is okay. I think I'm going to try to make a map token here. And kind of use it next turn. Or we just go Kaito, I guess. Sephiroth. Sure. This might be the Kaito angle. Thankfully, we get a preacher trigger first. Obviously, they can block my preacher, but that wouldn't be good. Creature land I have to worry about. There comes in. We end up down to 5. Done here. Now we have stab, betrayal. We get to attack. Alright, stab does nothing. Stab does literally nothing. Alright, that's a start to something. They're getting closer because we're getting farther. They have to block here. So the play is most likely... You can actually force a block 100%. Well, no, we can't force a block. There's 2 triggers here. Right? So they go to 7. Let's see. Let's just go to combat. Okay. Now we have a way to guarantee remove this voice. How many has it been? 1? Sure.
I've got you beat.
Sure, brother. I'll take a land. Now, of course, they can raise the past here if they want. They're hitting way too many lands. They play a Sephiroth to replate. Oh, dude. I get it, bro. It's just... That's fine. Oh, man. It didn't matter because we obviously have the betrayal. But I guess if they would have kept it correctly, they could have Oh, weird. Yeah, no, they had to do it that way to draw, I guess, but whatever. We will keep here. I'm probably just going to go ahead and shock, to be honest. I feel like with our hand, we're probably going to have to end up doing it anyway. And I think mana diversity with this type of a hand is great. We never know we're going to have to double blue or not. So blue-white control maybe? If that's the case, we're going to play this now. I understand typically you want to play under instead, but I also want to play under a no more lies. And now they have to like deal with this. And this is kind of a scary moment because obviously Kaido and things like that matter. Oh. I'm gonna Tidebinder. This could be artifact still. I doubt it, but like I'll give your counterspell some value. Kaido would be best draw because they typically have a hard time beating it. But they didn't use a no more lies, so it seems like that's kind of on the table of cards that I can write off right now. Pretty good draw. Talk about a draw that can get under some stuff. The land. Here. Removal's dead, and we play a ton of it. This is one of the matchups we benefit from getting to a sideboard game more than anything. But obviously we don't have that in best of one. Okay. Down to 12. Could be a board wipe here. Don't have that. We do not have that card. We do have counter magic. In terms of killing their creature. One, I guess. This is half their life total right here. Their solution right now is to make a fish. Using no more lies for that? That's fine. Turn. I bet. Sure. Sneaky beaver, dude. Yes. Sneaky beaver, bro. Double removal is pretty tight. Combat. Just fully okay with losing to a Kaido at any point, huh? Fair enough, I guess. But like, I don't care if I lose to a Kaido. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. You won't allow it. I think they're honestly aware that if they make a token, at least that turn, that they would have lost. I would put my opponent on some form of removal. Hey, yo! All right, we just play in-step Magic the Gathering. Going first here. Stab's like our only instant speed card, but I think I'm going to go ahead and play this passage on blue. Just have it enter tapped. I don't have to take the damage, I just won't. Now it feels like I'm getting punished for it. We'll wait, because if they pay into this, we'll just use that as an opportunity to stab it and get full value off our stab. I know I end up taking 1 there, but it takes their entire turn 2 away from them. Sure. Then if I also get to counter a thing, yeah. So this is red splashing blue, which is different, so. Now, How do I beat a screaming nemesis, you may ask? I don't know. Stab it? Like, honestly, it's probably stun it. Sure. The counter magic is not typically going to be a thing I have to worry about here. You just get to stab that, which is pretty dope. Play land. I could go Kaido and stun that, but I don't think that's worth, because then it just leaves Kaido vulnerable. We're most likely going to tap out, and then we're going to flash in an endurance. That's menace. Don't really want to block that anyway. I said an endurance. Enduring curiosity. Back into modern right now, currently. Curiosity comes in. More lands, because I have more lands than I know what to do with. Remember that game I won with a 3-lander? Not feeling like that game. On here.
I love a dramatic entrance.
Just
Sit down.
like
Rethink your
I had a 3-lander and thrives, and now I have 7. And I'm not thriving. They're also hitting a million lands too, so I can't even really be that upset. They have a very super clean way to answer this Kaido, whether they take it or not. Well, Hellkite can do it too. Yes. They have the good way to do it. Kind of surprised because a lot of people actually play around like 1 mana removal, especially considering I showed them 4 1-mana removal spells, but I don't blame them for doing that. Like, I think you have to take the risk even if I do remove it. All right. Do we just lose the game? Okay. Bro, they're hitting all the lanes too. They've just had more stuff. Okay. And draw 4. Get me out of this. Maybe. 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 Okay. Kind of have a couple of answers. Just for Hellkite. I think. Saying I think because I think. Here? I mean, this is a sorcery. We have to cast it now, right? I don't know what they get rid of. It's weird to like try to get rid of the bash, right? You get rid of Hellkite? I guess that's fair because you know it's not getting through. Activating map on this is a mistake. Because if they have any damage spell, it's going to be 2 anyway, and I want Screaming Nemesis to do as little damage as possible. Air Claw. Okay. You're not activating that village? Sure. Here. Okay. We need them to activate it one more time, I believe. Because we can counter the second activation. Oh, they didn't do it. Smart boy. Yeah, I mean, that's a mistake, kind of, on my end, but I still have it kind of covered. Obviously, if they have a burn spell, they have a burn spell. I just didn't figure they would do that. If they have a 2-mana burn spell, or a 2 damage burn spell, we're dead regardless. I feel dead regardless, but let's see it, brother. Slow roll me. I know you got it. No? I didn't activate my map? I'm a bad player, brother. That's tough. That's tough looks. I should never get out of this game because I would have had lethal right there. I hope they kill me, to be honest. To be entirely fair, I hope I'm dead. I deserve to lose. Why I didn't activate my map? Because it could have missed. This. It could have missed, obviously. Okay. My opponent 100% deserved to win that game. I just kind of blanked and was like, I don't know what card they could have. They had a Witch Stalker. Cards like Kaido are really good in this matchup. No blocks, obviously. We're looking to activate map here, I think. Looking to do it ourselves, brother. Alright, well, we'll see. Oh. No, sir. That'd be a weird time. Okay. Gonna play a third one? We'll go bar for bar. Okay. Kind of fun. That. Honestly, I guess we just play this, right? Like, what do they have for 1 mana? Another bounce spell, I guess. And then they deal another 2. Fine with me. We're just looking for lands here at this point. They want to use a whole card here to counter this. We're just sure. That's what the third Flood Maul. Yeah. I'm probably never playing around that, to be honest with you. Alright, pretty cool here. Can I play this one now? Is that okay? Bounce it again, dude. Play the 4th one. Alright. Go ahead. Why do I feel like I know what card's coming? Oh, it didn't. There's like 4 mana, like 5/3 that they flash in a lot of times. I'm not blocking, I don't think. Not when Curiosity's out and about. I want to kind of threaten a counterspell potentially. Should be able to respond to this. Good. Keyword. Done. I'll try to untap here and it'll actually take the stun away, but that's fine. I wanted to put them on their turn with less mana than they thought they were going to have. To be honest with you. Combat. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I made a recommendation that this card would probably be good.
Follow me. I know a hidden way in.
I don't know. I wasn't really playing around Tidebinder. I don't play many of them, so I was just like,
Found a way in.
I'll take my chance. Taking what, 5 here now? Removal at any point would be kind of cool, but
Outwitted you again.
see. No removal, it seems. Just make a creature unblockable is the only problem. Then I can stun it with this, I guess. Huh. Go to combat here. Quick face isn't really going to do me any good. Do Kaido again. My opponent could Tidebinder me here.
Who taught you such bad manners?
Obviously, whatever they make unblockable will answer with the last drowner. Unless, of course, they have another Tidebinder, then deal, I guess. They play a Flood Pits. I can almost have it covered then, because they can tap my flyer. They can hit me for 2. I can tuck my own creature. Isn't that cool? Doesn't give it a 1-0. I want to do it before they get a fresh card. Really got blown out in this game so far whenever I did the Kaido thing. It's tough, but it happens, I suppose. Oh, one attacker, huh? Yeah, I'm not worried about trample, of course. Gets a counter, so we might be able to just answer it here. Okay. Combat here. This creature attacks while you have the most life or tied. You draw. It has to attack a player. But I basically kind of have to answer this Kaido. Unblockable is going to be a thing I can't really beat, I don't think. They have another Tidebinder, like, I can't stop it, right?
Your tech is way. I've seen scarier things in a bowl of noodles. I need a new plan.
Here. We're going to play at this 1 for eternity at this point.
Control the fight. Control the outcome.
Nah, brother. We ain't getting got by 1. I refuse. I'm not doing it. No. You get tapped. You stay tapped, dog. I'm not here for that. Sure. All right. Okay. What is 1 to do? 3 steps. Well, they make it into a 3-3. It would be smarter to make it into a 3-3, in my opinion, but obviously they don't have to do anything I say ever. Bitter Triumph. Good draw. During Curiosity. Kinda needed here. Although, is it? Well, no, because this can't target. I guess Kaido can stun again. You come back. Curiosity. I would like 4 draws. Okay. Land. Oh boy. They don't have a drowner, right? So this has to tap and stun. So we stun here. Go here and we target. As much as it sucks, it doesn't matter. We might as well take their draws away, right? I discard a card. It won't even give me the option, by the way. I didn't get the option there. Which is fine. Obviously, not going to matter. Maybe? We just let that go, I think. We know their draw. So, and they have 3 Flood Mauls in their graveyard. So if they do a draw 2 here, we're okay. If they would have had one of these in play, we would have lost because they could have copied that creature. And it's only a creature they can draw. So, we're fine. They only have Spyglass Sirens. We're trying our best. Then what? They block and block, and then I have 7 damage on board. It's a hard game. They could copy the Tidebinder and shut Curiosity off, but the problem is all the triggers would go in a stack at the same time. They're going for the bounce spell. It went straight to combat, so they do not have the bounce spell. Holy, we get there. That we grinded for that one. We 100% grinded for that one. That was a weird, tough game. I really, for playing Tidebinder in my deck, I just don't like see it enough that it doesn't register in my brain at all. And I was just like, if I get Kaido down, I don't know how they beat it. And then the Tidebinder countered the ninjutsu ability, and I was like, all right, you know what? Fair enough, dude. You got me. But we just did the kind of stun lock that the mirror is very, very annoyingly known for. So it's pretty cool that we took that game away. I do think Blue-Black is technically the better deck. But I'll also say it wasn't until this last little bit that we found like a lot of a really good removal. Stab's really good here. The one card's good. Strategic Betrayals are fine. Honestly, I might have went overboard on this for how many graveyard decks I've seen today, but it's just like an automatic win against those decks that are very popular in Best of 1 right now. So for that, we'll go to the outro. All right, so here we are with the Dimir deck after we made some changes to it. For example, we went up to 3 Strategic Betrayals. And then I guess I forgot I cut this down. We had 2 of these, and I was like, why? I kind of sucked I didn't find another one. But I guess I went down, and my removal's not super high in this deck in terms of like concentrated. But it is just that thing against the Reanimator deck. We don't really play a lot of actual counter spells in this deck. We don't have the sideboard to rely on. So realistically, Betrayals would be a one of in the main, and then there'd be a lot more on our sideboard if we were playing best of 3. That's how you should play it in best of 3. But we kind of relied on it a bit to help us out against those graveyard matchups. Because the thing is they'll let you draw all the cards in the world. They don't really care about that. What they're going to end up caring about is just milling and milling and milling. And then hoping to win off of one Superior Spider-Man cast or on here Mind Bitten. So that's what they're hoping to do. And with this, we can get a lot of value. I think we saw its value against the Reanimator Raise the Pass deck. Where it kind of was like, okay, we build up some stuff. Maybe we can raise the pass. And I'm like, I'm going to remove your Enduring, the white Enduring creature that draws them cards with this, exile it and your graveyard, and now you have to restart over. And of course you have 4 or 5 mana, but they didn't have enough cards at that point because they didn't get to draw anything off the Enduring. So we took that. We're very excited with how that turned out. 3 might just be a bit aggressive on this, but I just felt it necessary for the time. And obviously, if you've looked at my channel, maybe I have a warped perception of the deck because I play Reanimator so much. And this card blows my back out. Like, it's crazy how good this card is against this. You know, just remove your one little creature you have and then also your entire graveyard. So, other than the removal kind of talk, I think it works well. I think this card is, like, easily the easiest cut. If you don't want to play it, especially because it's a rare, I think you can get by without playing this card at all. And maybe even not playing it allows us to go to like 3 of these and then maybe back up a trajectory or something. And then maybe playing a higher end card. But Then you run thin on your 2-drop creatures, and that's obviously a bit scary. We don't really want to be doing that too much because I think then that undervalues kind of our game plan of going 1, 2, 3, and then winning automatically with a curiosity play. But it's kind of back and forth. Our lands are at 25, so it is what it is when it comes to that type of stuff in terms of like how we flooded in one game, but then also didn't find a land in the other. So it's like, do you go up or down? 25 is pretty solid, especially considering our mana does have a lot of activations. You could argue with the Restless Reef needs to go down a copy for best of 1, because having this tap land all the time, especially with Watery Grave, if you're on the play or on the draw against aggro, kind of shocking and stuff is a bit tough. Or on the play you shock and then you find out the hard way that your opponent's aggro, or because you like wanted to play this and you'll play this tapped and now your Shoot the Sheriff's offline or something. It's just all kind of weird, there's a lot of good things to the deck that obviously is one of the best decks in the meta, so it's hard to be like, oh, these are drastic changes you need to make. We know this deck is very good. It's just like, what configuration do you need to be playing for the current meta? And honestly, if you want my opinion, I think when you cut a card from this deck, unless it's a craft reason, you can obviously cut it entirely. If you're going to cut a card, just set it in your sideboard if you're playing best of 1. And the reason for that is just so you can kind of remember what cards you are playing for what cards you're going to cut. For example, if you cut Beastbinder, the Tragic Trajectory, a Stab, and then you cut all the Preachers, trying to remember, especially if you're not recording. Like for me, it's pretty easy because I just go back to a recording. I'm like, what did I play like a week ago? And I can like look at it. If you didn't save the deck list or something or export a copy, just put them in your sideboard just so you do know what you need at any given time. Or, it's just like, I want to try the deck without Preacher. Just don't cut it. Just throw it over here, dude. And then it kind of helps you build out a best of 3 plan if you feel comfortable enough with the deck that you want to kind of take it into best of 3. Where this deck is very good. You finally find the cards that you're like, oh, Strategic Betrayal is not that awesome in best of 3. Like, why would I play like worse removal? Let's just put 2 of them in the sideboard and it acts as our graveyard hate card whenever we go up against those matchups. We bring them in, we get their good removal and do it then, right? So yeah, the deck's solid. I think, again, there's a few, like, must include, you must have. And if I was to tell you what those are, and it's going to sound, like, way less than what maybe it should be, but you must play 4 Enduring Curiosities. This is the best card in your entire deck. Kaido is the second best card, and it is sometimes better than Curiosity, sometimes worse than Curiosity. Honestly, this card tends to just always be the best. It just depends on the matchup, but sometimes Kaido's stun is so good and broken in certain matchups that we have to have it instead. The final card you have to have, not final, but you have to have Flood Pit's Drowner. This is another automatic 4 of, so these cards you want automatically, and I'll put it in like the crafting kind of sense. You want Spyglass Siren as well, because it's just kind of the best 1-drop that works well with your stuff. Makes a map, maybe helps you find a land. You can ninjutsu it out and play it because it's so cheap for 1 mana, and then also gives you more maps. But it's also that flying creature that can kind of evade to get Curiosity. If you wanted to play something else, honestly, the Flash creature isn't that bad that our opponent played the pirate one because it dodges Shoot the Sheriff, which is kind of funny. So in mirrors it's pretty good, but you just don't ever get to use the map to make this creature randomly larger, which sometimes matters, especially when you have a Preacher. But other than that, it's like Shoot the Sheriff probably has to be in your deck automatically. Cecil is a card that I would recommend playing 2 to 3 of. Never play 4 of this card. 2 has felt good. 3 is kind of towing that line because you don't necessarily ever flip it for free. And a lot of times blocking with it is kind of tough. So this is kind of whatever. Shoot the Sheriff, I think, is kind of needed. Right now, I think Tidebinder has enough value that you want to play at least 1 of these, maybe 2 of these. And then in best of 1, you want to be playing some amount of Strategic Betrayals at 2 at the minimum, I think. Because, again, it's so strong against what you're playing against. And then for Planeswalker removal, you kind of play Bitter Triumph, but it does slot in this kind of like variable category. The rest of these, you can kind of play whatever, to be honest. The rest of these are fine. And these are kind of, you can play different amounts of, but maybe I guess same here, but automatic locks are over here. These cards you want to be playing, but in different like variety of them. Maybe you're going up to 3 of these and going down a triumph. Maybe you're going up a triumph, going down here. Or maybe you're cutting preachers entirely and going all out on tie binder because you like to play flash a bit more. But the rest of over here you can kind of interchange. You want to have some 1-mana spell removal, but like if you play 2 stabs, then play 2 stabs. If you play 2 of these, then cut stabs. It doesn't really matter that much, but that's what I would recommend if you're in here. We do play 25 lands, and best of 1, you could argue maybe you cut 1 and add an extra kind of removal spell in. That's up to you, obviously. But with that said, I hope you all enjoy. Very long outro, but I think when you're playing a deck that is this kind of dominant good, I think you want to be talking about stuff like that. So with that said, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.